Good day, everyone. I am Bill Rochelle, the columnist and editor-at-large for American Bankruptcy Institute. We have taken some time off from our weekly videos during the year-end holidays, and in the meantime, we have moved our flag to the desert Southwest. Actually, it's not a real desert. It's more like an alpine desert because, if you can see in the background, there are many feet of snow on the mountaintops. I have looked back over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I think that the most consequential opinion, not necessarily the most important, but the most consequential, was a decision by bankruptcy judge Robert Glenn in New York in the reorganization of the crypto broker Celsius Networks. What it really comes down to is that Judge Glenn said, or told, the customers of Celsius that in fact they really didn't own the cryptocurrencies that they deposited with this debtor. Well, so I am told, the CEO of that company on many occasions publicly said that, yes, you own your crypto that you deposit with us, but when it came to reading the account agreement itself, it really in substance said that those customers were making loans to Celsius. And so, at the end of the day, now in bankruptcy, if those cryptos are not there, those customers are nothing more than unsecured creditors. I also thought about the bankruptcy of FTX, where I guess what it amounts to is that perhaps several $billion of customers' cryptos were allegedly stolen by the people who were running that outfit. I think what all of this means is the following. When someone, anyone, a corporation, an individual, any kind of an entity, is holding somebody else's property, especially when it's hundreds of thousands or tens of billions of dollars, that entity ought to be subject to the strictest regulation and auditing. Why do I say that? Well, the reason is really pretty simple. If a company is holding hundreds of thousands or tens of billions of dollars in someone else's property, there is a tendency, well, maybe not a tendency, but a threat that somebody may break the rules and steal it. And you can say that's what might have happened in these two bankruptcy cases. That's why there needs to be the strictest of regulation to be sure that those companies are actually holding customers' properties. And I think at the end of the day, these crypto companies ought to sit down and say to themselves, well, listen here, we need something like the Securities Investor Protection Corporation to protect people who deposit their cryptocurrencies with these crypto brokers. Because, as you know, with the SIPC, if for some reason the property is not there, the stock, SIPC gives it back to you. SIPC buys it in the market and gives it to you. Likewise, you have $500,000 in cash that SIPC will give each customer. At the end of the day, crypto customers, I think, would be much happier if they had entities with whom they deposited their crypto that was both tightly regulated, audited in the real sense of the term, and backed up with something like the SIPC to be sure if something terrible goes wrong, they have somewhere to go to recover their property. I am Bill Rochelle, as I said, the editor-at-large of American Bankruptcy Institute. These opinions, as they always are strictly mine and not ABI's. But at the end of the day, I really think that's what Congress ought to do. It might cost these crypto companies some maybe not insignificant amount of money to have the equivalent of SIPC protection and audits and regulation. But at the end of the day, it's better for customers. Well, God willing, I will be back same time next week with something interesting in the world of bankruptcy. Until then, be well, stay safe, and a good day.